everyone! So we're going in on the Mayan Popol Vuh. Let's go on and get into it. Remember, there are Mayan ruins in Belize, Guatemala, and Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. And here is the account of a maiden, the daughter of a lord named Blood Gatherer. Whee! Alright, let's make sure we keep track of all these demons' names. And this is when a maiden heard of it, the daughter of a lord. Blood Gatherer is the name of her father, and Blood Moon is the name of the maiden. That's interesting. And when he heard this account of the fruit of the tree, her father retold it, and she was amazed at the account. I'm not acquainted with that tree they talk about. Its fruit is truly sweet, they say. I hear, she said. Next she went all alone and arrived where the tree stood. It stood at the place of ball game sacrifice. What? Well, what's the fruit of this tree? Shouldn't this tree bear something sweet? They shouldn't die. They shouldn't be wasted. Should I pick one? Said the maiden. And then the bone spoke. It was here in the fork of the tree. Why do you want a mere bone, a round thing in the branches of a tree? Said the head of one Hanapu when it spoke to the maiden. You don't want it, she was told. I do want it, said the maiden. Very well. Stretch out your right hand here, so I can see it, said the bone. Yes, said the maiden. She stretched out her right hand, up there in the front of the bone, and then the bone spit out its saliva, which landed squarely in the hand of the maiden. And then she looked at in her hand. She inspected it right away. But the bone's saliva wasn't in her hand. It is just a sign I have given you, my saliva, my spittle. This my head has nothing on it, just bone, nothing of meat. It's just the same with the head of the great lord. It's just the flesh that makes his face look good, and when he dies, people get frightened by his bones. After that, his son is his saliva, his spittle, in his being, whether it be the son of a lord or the son of a craftsman, an orator. The father does not disappear, but goes on being fulfilled, neither dim nor destroyed in the face of a lord, a warrior, craftsman, orator. Rather, he will leave his daughters and sons. So it is that I have done likewise through you. Now go up there on the face of the earth. You will not die. Keep the word. So be it, said the head of 1 and 7 Hanapu. They were of one mind when they did it. This was the word hurricane, newborn thunderbolt, sudden thunderbolt had given them. In the same way, by the time the maiden returned to her home, she had been given many instructions. Right away something was generated in her belly, from the saliva alone, and this was the generation of Huanapu and Zipalanque. And when the maiden got home and 6 months had passed, she was found out by her father. Blood Gatherer is the name of her father. Wait a minute. So is this talking about how, I think this is saying this is how Huanapu and Zipalanque, remember the two twins who were tricksters? I think this is talking about how their mom got pregnant. And they got pregnant by the decapitated talking skull, right? The head. Wow. That is interesting. Wow. The head of one Hanapu, okay? And then he spits in her hand. Wow. That's really unique. You know what's weird is it's mentioning a tree with forbidden fruit. And there's an entity there talking by the tree of forbidden fruit. This would be an example of, is this really what the Mayans believed, or was this the Catholic friar trying to make a Genesis story? You gotta wonder. You gotta wonder how much the Catholics tried to alter the text to make it fit in, right? Because originally I learned and I read that the friars, right, it was very hard for them to convince the elders of the Mayan village to give over the secret codex of the Mayans because they were trying to hide it. So I wonder, it sounds very like the names don't sound very similar, but the tree imagery, right? Okay, family, there'll be more later. That's that part right there. What do you think?